All right, hi everyone. Welcome to the Building with a Blown Nails show, right?
Yes,
And
show.
tonight we have a special guest. It's our friend Grace. We've known Grace for many years. She's our friend from LA. So she's a lash and brow artist, right?
Yes,
She's an
esthetician.
artist. She does many things. And she's very successful with a lot of businesses.
She also has her own line of jewelry. She also does tattoos, and she also has t-shirts and like clothing stuff.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit
she's
of
very
art.
successful in the beauty industry. Very successful business person.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to have her here tonight.
Thank you.
So
Thanks for being here, Grace.
yeah, thanks for your time, Grace. I know you're super busy, so yeah, how's your day today, by the way? Like
Oh,
what's your like
today,
schedule like?
oh
Mhm.
my God, today I was actually off because I had a little bit of car trouble.
Hmm.
But
No.
yeah, but it's okay. We figured it out. But so I'm carless for like 2 days. But other than that,
Mm.
everything is good. But
Did
I'll
you,
start working again starting Friday. So
so did you miss client today or
So I had to cancel, yeah, like a few appointments for today and tomorrow, unfortunately, but it's okay.
that's the beauty of business, right?
Yeah, you never
Always
know.
something going on.
Yeah, you never know. Life happens.
It's-
You get to reschedule your schedule though if you need to.
Luckily, yeah, because of flexibility, right, with my schedule, it's just clients to see like if they're able to reschedule, so that's the only thing, but pretty flexible with the schedule. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
And I guess for the audience, like we know you personally, so
Right.
I guess like who are you? Like just kind of like
No,
introduce
no,
yourself.
let's let's
No,
not
it's just
no,
no.
let's do it this way. How about okay, so how long have you been in business for now, Grace?
So full time, I would say I started in 2017,
Nice.
but I did start like esthetician school back in 2015, and like makeup artistry, I started in like 2011.
Oh wow.
But so it started since 2011, but I didn't really go full time into it until like 2017 when I actually left my corporate job. Yeah.
Oh
So you had a corporate
wow.
job.
Yeah,
Okay.
but in 2017, I was, like, going full-time school and then full-time working, which was pretty crazy. I don't know how I did that, but during that time, you just do it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes.
So back
Yeah.
then, like if you were to like see yourself back then and you'd be able to see your future, do you think like did you ever imagine like this is what you were gonna do?
Not one bit. Like, to tell you the truth, like, I don't think I was ever into beauty,
Mm,
before, you know? And I didn't know that I would be doing what I am now. It just kind of it's like events that happened within the life and like during church events and stuff, I would be doing people's makeup, but I never thought that it would be something that I would be doing for a living now. But it kind of played into what I am currently doing. So I think it's just really like a blessing and it just kind of happened. Yeah.
right. So you used to do makeup too, right? Is that
Yeah.
makeup too for business?
Yeah, so I did makeup for like weddings, some like short films, and then
Wow.
like YouTubers and stuff. So that was pretty
Oh,
fun. It was like really
Wow.
nice experience.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So that was like a really. I think it started maybe like in 2017 because I wasn't able to actually do like short films and stuff because of corporate job. So I didn't get to dabble into it until after I left.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah. So that was really fun too. It was crazy hours, but that's why I don't think I would do it again.
Oh, the makeup. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice because it's just like, light makeup, but you're there for long hours.
mm.
Nice. And then
And
from there, you transition to lashes, right? Is that the next?
So actually after uh so 2015 is when I went into esthetician school. And then that's when I actually like, doing facials and like shaping eyebrows. So
Mm,
after that, when I left corporate, I took a microblading course in 2017. So I did brows first, and then I believe it was 2019 or 2020 when I actually took the eyelash extension course.
Oh,
So
right.
it
You
was
were browsing.
brows
So I remember
first.
that.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
then from brows it went to like lashes.
I was one of her first brow clients.
Yeah. Thank you.
And look, they're still really nice.
Yeah, I remember. And
Yeah.
then why did you transition from brows to lashes?
Um, the type of personality that I have, it's like, okay, like once I do something and I find like comfort in it, I was like, okay, I feel like I need to do something to like kind of, make it more interesting for me. Um, I think I kind of fell out of just like doing brows for a little bit, and I wanted to do something more challenging, and like I felt like lashes were really, really challenging. So it made me I guess just keep practicing, and try to get better at it. Yeah. But I
Did
could
you feel
tell
like
you I
stagnant?
didn't like it at first, huh?
Did you feel stagnant with your skill set? Is a
Yeah. So I felt like I needed something a little bit more, you know? So I think that, I mean, I love brows. I still like to do them, but I think like for some reason, I think lashes are more like art form because you could do different, like everybody has different eyes, shapes, and everybody wants different styles versus like brows are very, you kind of stick to one or two particular shapes per, for
yeah,
each client.
that's
Yeah.
true.
That's
It only
Yeah.
goes one way.
Like there's not much that I guess you can do to create, you know, like different, you know, brows, right?
Like
But
variations.
And then you
yeah,
got into facials, right? Like skincare.
yeah. So when I started in I think 2017, I was subleasing from another person at Phoenix salons. So I was only, and then like I said, I was going to school full time. So I only worked 3 days. So I was very limited on what I could do within those 3 days, like taking clients. So that time I wasn't doing facials. I was just doing lashes and brows at the Glendale studio. And sometimes occasionally I'll do like facials. But since I've opened up my Pasadena location, I was able to open more like appointment slots, and people have like my clients have always asked me like, "Okay, like when are you going to do facials again?" Because I know you're an esthetician. Are you going to do it? So I was like, well, we'll see, we'll see. So once I moved into the Pasadena location, it was more open and available. So I was able to started to add like facials into my services again.
And lips, right? Lips tattoos.
Yeah, lip blush tattoo, yeah, because that kind of just falls underneath like brows too, because it's like PMU, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Oh. And then you honestly, would you say like how did you get into like marketing and branding and all that? Because I feel like you're really good at that. And that's kind of how you've attracted a lot of clients, right?
it's a lot of like trial and error for sure,
Social media.
because you don't like going into it. I didn't have much. Oh, sorry, Naya's like knocking on the door.
Our kids are outside
Our
screaming,
kids-
so that's
um,
okay.
but like a lot of trial and error, because going into it, like I didn't have anybody that knew anything about like marketing or even like starting a business, so I just tried like, Facebook ads, right? And like
Mm.
posted on Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, like ads, run the ads, and you just keep on posting. So, but now there's like so many new things on Instagram, on social media itself, that it's a little bit easier because, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you should post this, this, you can market this. But before there wasn't any of that. So you just kind of like learn as you
Just
go.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I like what
Literally
you said
learn
though.
as you go, and then like it was more like referrals and promotions, especially when you start. Like you can't I feel like you can't expect to like raise your price so high because like nobody knows you yet. So
I like what you said too, to just keep posting, right?
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are stuck because they're just stuck in their head too much, versus just pick up the phone and shoot the video and just post it, right?
Y-
Say something.
Yeah, I feel like I get stuck now because, like I was like, oh, what should I post now? I get that feeling sometimes too, but sometimes you're like, okay, you just have to like really get on there and just post,
Right.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, to make some noise and get some
Yeah.
eyeballs on you or something, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
And
then
then, mm,
yeah,
like, how important is marketing to your business, and I guess to other businesses in general?
I think it's really important, especially showing up, right, on your platform, like whatever platform you use, because people know what you do, but then they don't really know the person who's doing it. So I feel like now it's changed. Like people want to know who the person offering the service is, right? Because like you go, like you see all their work, they do great, but like, okay, like, but what type of person is this? Is it someone I could feel comfortable with and talk to, or am I going to feel a little bit like intimidated by them, right?
Right.
Right.
So I try to always, I think, like when I try to post, I try to make it relatable too. So people can feel comfortable, to ask me
I agree.
questions if they have it. Yeah.
It's personal branding, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
exactly why we're doing this. It's
Yeah.
because we just want this to be like just raw, like there's no script. We're just
Yeah.
talk.
So people get to know not just us, but they also meet you. Like they can, like people who know us, but they don't know you. Maybe they'll
Mhm.
like see, oh wow, I love how Grace is, and then they'll start following you and want to get their eyebrows done or eyelashes done.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of all this.
Yeah, because social media is kind of fake these days, right? Like everyone can just
Yeah.
say anything and post, like whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
have you seen those new AI models, by the way, on like Instagram?
AI
They're
mom.
fake. They're fake people, but they're like made from AI. But these like fake
Oh, they
people,
look real, right?
right? But they're
Yeah.
making money just by having an account.
I actually saw this like a few years back. Like it was already started and I was looking at her. It was like a girl. It was like a account. I was like, oh my God, like she's really pretty, but also like there's something about her that doesn't look real. So I was like zooming in and it was AI, but I was so freaked out. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah, I
They're
tried it
like
with us. I made Lewis a cowboy.
oh, Chester tried it too. I think Chester tried it with me, and then I looked like a totally different person. But
Yeah,
it was like the same clothes,
yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
she knows about that too.
So
Chester, yeah.
I guess since we brought up Chester, how is it? I mean, we get asked this a lot. So how is it like being married and being in business? Like, how would you? Is that? How do you guys do that?
That's complicated.
So, you know what? I think in the beginning, it was really tough. Like, not per se for me. I think like um I I think for him and the people around me because a lot of my business is on the phone, right? So before I didn't have boundaries. So I would reply to
Mhm.
emails, Instagram messages, text messages like 24/7, right?
Mm.
During dinner, during lunch, or during hanging out with friends. And so I think that kind of like it kind of, made people a little bit like annoyed, right? When you're on the phone while you're talking to someone, you're like, wait, like let me text this person real quick. Like, but then and then later on I learned, I was like, you know what, like this can wait. I don't, we both work the whole day and we don't see each other until like later on at night, right? For dinner. So or like friends meeting up, like we don't see each other often. So let me just shut off my notifications, you know? So
Mhm.
that's why I don't have my Instagram, like any social media notifications on anymore
Smart.
That's
because of that. Yeah. Like I try to do like two separate phones, one for business and one for like, work. I mean, for personal use, but I found that really hard too
It
to have
is.
two
yeah, that is
phones.
smart.
So the easiest what was good for me was just to um disable all the notifications and
Yeah.
just check
Right.
them during the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's all
that's
about boundaries, right? So I guess
Yeah.
like tell me more about like what do you do now for like boundaries? And I understand it by the way. Like I think when you're like starting out, you kind of just do whatever you need to do, right? So if you need to
Right.
be on a call at like midnight, then you take the phone call, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But I guess now that you're more established, like what's the boundaries that you do now?
That's why, like, in the beginning, like, you get burnt out so fast, and in the beginning. So when I was at Glendale working only 3 days, I would, and I went to school the other 3 days, right? So it was like doing like homework and then you have school. So I was working like 12 to 16 hours, which is wild because I don't think I would ever do that again. Um, because like, I would be taking like six to eight clients a day, which is insane. It's like back to back to back, no breaks, barely get to eat. Um, and so I think I've learned to not do that. So, I had to put boundaries for myself and, hey, like, and now I'm more comfortable with telling clients like, hey, I don't have an appointment for you available like this day that you want anymore. It's already booked, but I have like other days. So I think that was really hard for me in the beginning too, because I was trying to fit so many people in the limited time that I have. And then now having like 5 to 6 days open, I would, you know, depending on like what kind of service they want, I could do 2 to like 4 to 5. It just depends on the hours.
I love that. In the beginning, it's hard to you can't say no to
Yeah.
anyone. If they're
Yeah,
gonna pay you,
you
you gotta say
know,
yes, right?
yeah, you say
Yeah.
yes because you're just starting out. You're trying to make back like the money that you spent. Um, and also trying to get like referrals. So, I mean, which is okay. And, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah.
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 And then as you develop, I guess you learn how to have boundaries and take care of yourself better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said like it was kind of hard for everybody. Do you think though that even though it was hard for them, like you got a lot of support from everybody, like in your like from your family and your friends?
Yeah. I mean, they were really supportive. They have always been. And I think that's also a real blessing. Like you guys have been like supportive since the beginning too. So I really thank you for that because having support of friends, it's really good to have. You know, whether it's like you come for a service or if it's like you're trying to you refer, or you repost, like you don't have to spend, but even like reposting or like verbally referring someone, like those are also very helpful. And luckily, I mean, it's a blessing, right? It's not like luck, but like God placed people in my life that I think like really supported me from the beginning and even up until now. Even though I don't see them every day, they're like commenting on like
Yeah.
Instagram posts and that's like really good too, you
That's
know?
awesome.
Yeah.
It was the algorithm, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
how
Yeah.
about hate? Did you get any hate from
Yeah. Do you get
anyone from
any
the
hate?
past or like now? Like
No, well, I think like there's trolls, right? Internet trolls. Like random, they're like, "Oh, like she looked better without brows or like without lashes." But, they just say these random things. So like um luckily like I think I've always been good not to respond to those posts and just delete them, you know? Just because like I mean, it doesn't matter. They're going to say what they want to say but like clients happy, we're all happy besides them, you know. But other than that, I feel like the beauty industry now, like with lashes and brows, it's very how do you say, very supportive.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that
Of
the whole
each
niche
other.
is very supportive of each other. Nice.
Yeah. Like we have a community where you can like ask questions to each other, and everybody's very supportive, and you know they'll reply if they have the answer.
Oh
So it's
wow,
really nice. Yeah.
that's so cool. And
Like
then
I
you're also teaching,
yeah.
right? Teaching a couple students.
I have, but I put it on pause just because ever since I moved to the Pasadena location, it was just been working, working, working. So I didn't have a
Mhm.
chance to focus on that aspect of the business just yet. Yeah.
Do you think that's
Interesting.
like a future thing that you
Oh
want to
yeah,
do?
definitely. So hopefully in the next years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good though.
And then I want to go back from the start. So,
What, when
um,
you guys were partying
and
together?
then I went all the way back then.
No, tell the audience. How long have you guys really known each other? Like
Long
it's
time,
been
huh?
like really long, right? Or
I
did
think
you meet
I
Chester
mean,
first or Grace?
Chester first.
yeah,
I
Chester
didn't
first.
meet, yeah. So it's been, well, Chester and I we're almost 10 years now. So
Oh,
it's about the same amount of time because that's when I met everybody. Like I met everybody so fast.
Yeah, about 10
aw,
years.
10
Went by
years.
fast, huh?
Wait, you know
Wow.
Yeah.
Chester for 10 years or longer?
Long.
Longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Wow.
was in college still. But
So
we
you're
were like
like
partying.
18.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago. Oh my god, I'm getting old. What
You're like,
was I
let's not go
gonna ask?
there.
I had a
Going back
question
to the beginning.
from the beginning. Oh, your first corporate job. Like,
Mhm.
what is that? What kind of job is that?
So it was actually a like franchise company. Um, it was about, oh well, it was for sushi. So I worked in the legal department with like basically it was customer service, but they call it franchise services. We did a lot of internal stuff for the franchisees, you know, and prep them to take over the locations. So it was a lot. Like I didn't expect um you know that I would learn a lot from there, but I actually did, because I was really shy, you know, like talking like this, like yeah, you wouldn't even like I wouldn't even like think that I would be talking like this, you know. But I think that job really prepared me, talking in front of like 10 to 20 like franchisees every 2 weeks, you know, and it's new people all the time, different personalities, you know. So it was really challenging. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot. And it's a lot of, you know, navigating through like different departments and talking to you know, we had to talk to I think like uh food safety auditors too. It was a lot. It was
Wow.
A lot of
totally
talking.
different. Yeah, a lot of talking, you know, it's really different from what I do now. And I that's when I knew like, okay, like I don't want to be here for the rest of my life, you
But
know.
it helped you like learn how to talk to people because now you have to talk to like all your clients and
Oh yeah.
like that. So it was like your bridge to
Yeah.
that.
I want to ask you, like, is that when you knew, like, okay, like, this is not for me. This corporate life is not for me.
Yeah,
I
I actually wanted to leave, I think like 2 to 3, like I think 2.5 years into it. Like I wanted to leave, you know, but I ended up staying for another, you know, 1.5 years because I really felt guilty and bad for like, you know, like my supervisor. My supervisor became like my really close friend. And
Mhm.
I felt bad that there wasn't another person coming in just yet to take over my spot. It wasn't my um it's not my job to do that, right? Like to
Right.
worry, but because I was with that team for a really long time, I just felt like I was obligated to stay.
That's
Yeah, it
just
makes sense.
how you
Yeah.
are too. You're just like
Yeah.
that good person too.
Yeah, so you're an introvert, right? Would you say that?
I would say so. I think an introverted extrovert, or is it extroverted introvert? I'm not really sure which. Because
Yeah, introvert is like
if I'm
quiet.
comfortable with people, I would talk. I
Right.
could talk your ear off.
It depends on the person and the situation.
Right.
That's
And
like
like personalities too, and like
Mhm.
the vibe that you get too from sometimes, like the energy from people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like well, you're really introvert. Like this, he's nervous right now still, even though he knows us so well, but he's still really nervous just being on camera.
I could feel that way too sometimes. But I think I was like, okay, no, like, I was mentally preparing myself. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
I was gonna ask you too. So how is it building a business being an introvert? Because I know a lot of people are introverts, right? Like they don't want to do like social media. They don't want to promote.
Or even
But
talk to clients.
right, but when you're in business, you gotta talk, right?
Mhm.
So I guess like how do you handle it, and what's your advice for introverts?
I think you just really have to get over that fear and just go for it, right? Um, I feel that a lot of creative people tend to be introverts,
Mhm.
and uh, but you just really have to get over it and just do it, because if you don't get over that fear, you don't get anywhere, you know? Like it cripples you from doing a lot of stuff. So you just have to have confidence in yourself and, you know, believe, right? Because if you don't believe in yourself, then who else? Other people do, but you need to see it for yourself. So I just say go for it. For me, that's what I did. I just kept going, you know, never
Yeah,
give up.
great. You've
Just
been
I
going for
love
a
it.
long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
That says a lot about you
Yeah.
because you're going for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
just have to continue. That's really what it is. And like if you don't want to show up on social media, and if you're like really shy, there's other things that you can do. Like you don't necessarily need to like talk or like show your face. There's a lot of post or Instagram reels now that people do where you're like reading a book or like drinking coffee, so you see only the side of your face, right? But then there's like text on the reel itself, like, oh, like my name is so and so, I've been doing this for this many years, I help people, you know um like make money, get financial support, like whatever it is that you do, you can post it on the reel instead of talking. So there's a lot of options now, so you don't necessarily have to like talk and like face to face in front of the camera if you don't feel comfortable yet. That could be the next step.
I love that.
yeah.
That's
I
true.
love that. And I want to go back to you being creative too, because I just actually remembered during COVID, you actually had to shut down, right? You had to close like the office
Yeah,
and do other things. And I remember you even started like a boba thing, right? A
like a
boba.
little like coffee latte thing. Cause I was
Yeah,
like,
coffee
I can't,
latte.
I can't stay still. Like it's so boring, just being at home, but also like need to make money, right? Because
Right.
I mean, everything is shut down, but you still have bills. You still need to buy groceries, you still have to take care of things. So it's like, okay, like what are you gonna do now? So I think my brain is just works that way. It's like
Yeah.
constantly running. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right?
Oh yeah, it's hard to
So
sleep sometimes.
yeah, but it's like, okay, if this is not gonna work, what can I do? Right. So I think that's just how my brain works, for me at least.
I
Right.
love it.
Yeah.
And you're born here, right? U.S. You're born
Yeah.
here.
I'm born
But your
here.
parents are immigrants, right?
Yeah.
So like how is it being or having like immigrant parents influence you, or I guess like your work ethic and desire to succeed?
Oh, I think that plays a lot in it. I was just talking to my dad about it today. Because I was with him today because he helped me with my car. But when he came here as an immigrant, he came by himself first. And, he had no family. He only had like family friends that he ended up having to stay with for a little bit, but he worked, you know, he worked his ass off to, like pay his bills. And then like my mom and my sister had immigrated to the US, and my sister was only one at the time and was only one. So
Oh.
now it's like he's the only one who's working, right? During that time. And he's like, hey, I need to work, and to take care of his bills and then now family. That's what he was saying to me. But like now, like, uh, like by the grace of God, and like they're just really blessed and God takes care of them. But also like I think like seeing them work so hard growing up, there is no excuse for me not to, you know? Um, and I think like since I've always seen them work nonstop, I think that's another reason how I picked up that kind of work ethic too. But that's why I need to learn how to like chill sometimes too, you know, and spend time with family.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and the people around us, because sometimes we can get so caught up in work and not spend time with family. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you and Anne are both very entrepreneurial. You guys both went into business, right? Would you say?
Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of crazy because we didn't have like that type of, growing up, they wanted us to go to school, right? Like go to school, get a degree, get a job, right? But the reason why they think that way is because they didn't get a chance to do that, you know? Um,
Sure. That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Sorry.
yeah. So they didn't get a chance to, so they want us to do that. However, we had different plans. And I think it was really hard for them to understand at first, for a really long time until I moved into the Pasadena location, because they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, like she
Took
has."
that long. Wow.
They were always really proud of what I did, but I think like as immigrant parents, they're just worried that like, oh, is this gonna be like good enough? Like is this gonna be stable for
Yeah.
them in the long run? But the reason why they're thinking like that is because they don't want us to struggle how they did, during when they first got here.
Your family was the same.
Yeah. It
They
took people a
always,
while because with me or us, I mean, I quit nursing, right? Which is the Filipino.
Yeah.
So that's all the people that it was very crazy.
yeah. But his family would always ask me too, like, oh, is he going back to nursing? Like,
Yeah.
when's he gonna quit doing this? Like, whatever he's doing. They didn't really, I don't know, approve, but yet they were supportive. It was like a gray
Kind of
area.
weird. Hmm.
Yeah. But then like they would be nice about it, but still they would always be like, oh, is he done with this little venture of his? Like, when's he going back?
Like, how's your little business doing? I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then after many years, it really does well. That's when they really understand it, which is crazy, right?
I mean, even up until now, I do have people ask me like, "Oh, like, weren't you going to school? Are you gonna continue that? Like, isn't it a waste? Like, you're almost done, but you didn't finish it." It's always like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I kind of got over people saying that, and it's like, well, you know what? Like, I established something for myself. I don't have to explain to anybody.
Right.
I don't think I need to prove to anybody anymore.
Right.
Before I felt that way, right? Because like no one was really supportive. Like even Chester was kind of worried in the beginning. But I get it. If you think about it, it I guess like logically speaking, or like logical thinking, right? Like, oh, like you don't know if it's gonna work out. But like for me, I think I'm just like a trailblazer. You just keep going, there's no
Yeah.
stopping. And you just continue to do what you do.
Yeah, and if
Right.
you love it and you
Yeah.
enjoy it, then why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
It's better than going to a job that you don't like every day and hating it. It's like you only have one life, so
Yeah.
might as well. And then if you have the skills and you're like constantly working on yourself and you see
You're gonna get better.
you're gonna get better.
And then the crazy part is before, like my parents they would say like what I do, like, oh yeah, she does brows, you should go to her. But now they're like, oh yeah, she has her own like studio in like Pasadena, like she does all of this. So like I could see like it's like totally different, from when I was like subleasing, right? To this new studio by myself. But of course, like you can't just get to, point A to Z like,
Yeah.
It takes
takes
years.
like
It's
like step by step.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. Like, that's why you keep on going and, steady pace, right? It doesn't matter like if some people are way ahead of you or anything. Like if you I guess for yourself, like you're not, I guess, what am I trying to say? Where you are now is exactly where you need to be. And then like, if you look back, you're not there anymore. You're like where you pray to be when you were back there, and it's like it keeps going like that, right?
Yeah.
There's only forward.
It's funny. I was listening to a podcast, and this guy was saying we actually underestimate ourselves because if you look back, right, like 10 years ago, like you've come really far,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. What were we
and you
doing
weren't
10
even like
years
imagining
ago?
yourself being in that place. Really,
Yeah.
No.
like 10 years, right? You're like, oh yeah,
Like,
I'll probably have like this, and this, but really, you're really underestimating yourself,
yeah.
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
crazy to me because it's true.
Yeah, our mindsets are totally different from what it was 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Like, what were you
So,
doing 10 years
huh?
ago?
I mean, I was up to no good 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, Grace knows.
So
That's for another show.
yeah, so I guess how important is self-awareness to being a business owner?
I think
Or just in
100.
general, I guess.
Like you really have to be self-aware, especially like how you feel, and like you have to be self-aware if you're like burnt out, but really just, I guess, like do a reflection, right? um how would you say this? Because if you're burnt out, you don't put out good work anymore. And then also if you're thinking like, oh, like negative thoughts about yourself all the time, and you're like thinking that I can't do it, and if you're not aware of that, like it does slow down your business. And then it also gives you, what is that? Oh my God, I forgot that term. I forgot. Oh my God, I just had a blank moment. Imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Like you don't think you're getting anywhere, but it's like you are, So I think it's very important to be self-aware of all those things. And you have to remind yourself that you are where you need to be and you're doing all that you can for you and your business, And like self-aware, you should be also having like self-care too, because you take care of people all the time, you talk to people all the time, and then you forget about yourself. And I think that's what happened to me for a short time. Yeah.
Mm.
She burnt out.
How much would you say that you've invested in yourself in order to like grow, would you say? Like if you
I think a lot.
A lot of money, right?
It's never ending. It's like constant, especially in this industry, but also I think investing in like uh self-help, right? Like trying to be stronger mentally. Um I think that one is the most important thing to do when investing in like, well, just doing business in general, because you could lose yourself so easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Personal development, right?
Yeah, personal development. Yeah,
What do
definitely.
you do? Like, do you buy books? Do you read? Do you do conferences?
So I started reading a book, I think it's, oh my God, let me see if I have it here. It's actually by Joseph Murphy, The
Mm-hmm.
Power of Your The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's a really good read. And then what grounds me too and keeps me grounded and calm is also God and the Bible and praying.
Yeah.
I think that
How
plays
about
a
that?
really huge part of my business too. Having faith and staying calm within the storm too. Because, with business, there are slow times and there's like really good times, but there's also times where you have to relax and just, chill. So I think um, just having faith alone, it plays a really big part. And then also like talking to friends who are also within the business community, helps a lot too.
Yeah, I know, just like for me, having you as my friend and doing our memes, that's kind of our like
It's like
our
nuts.
talk.
Communication.
That's our communication to make each other feel good. But it
Yeah.
just feels good knowing you have someone who understands your like busyness in a way. And that you can just be like, okay, if I didn't respond, but I'll respond with a meme. It's like, okay, I know how you're doing today.
Yeah.
We
That's our
have our serious
communication
memes,
bonding.
we have our funny memes, mostly funny, but
Yeah.
then like also being like faithful and like things like that. It really helps when you have friends that relate with your values and things like that. I would say
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's
how
cool.
important is your fate with this business or your life?
Say that one more time.
Like, how important is your fate with building your business or just your life in general?
I think if faith plays a lot in every aspect of everything that I do, like uh just praying, also like praying over like family, friends, everybody could use a prayer, right? Like in times of need, whatever it is, and praying over my studio too, like for people who come in, clients who come in. Like since the day that I opened, I had um my dad come my dad and his friends come to the studio before I open, and they
Nice.
actually prayed over it,
Oh,
and I pray time to time before my day starts, and praying that my clients are comfortable and at peace when they come here and relax during the time that they're here and just feel I don't know how to like just total comfort,
in a
you know?
good space, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know what it's going on in their day-to-day life, right? People have so many things that you don't know what they're dealing with, or they don't want to say it, right? So at least when they come for that hour or two, they're relaxed and just at ease. Yeah.
And they vent to you, and you become like a therapist.
Yeah, so they get 2 in 1, right? I'm just getting paid for one.
No, seriously,
Therapist.
I'm one of them.
Verdict's laying down. Oh my gosh, Louis
But
time.
Yes, Grace
yeah,
is all.
but it's
Yeah.
nice that people feel comfortable, with you and are able to talk to you and just be themselves around you, and they have nothing to hide. And I really appreciate that for everybody who comes through my door, you know. So I hope they, feel a sense of like God too and comfort when they do come in.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Aw.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
How are your parents doing, by the way?
important. What happened?
How are your parents doing? They're good?
They're doing great. Yeah, they're doing great.
How old are they now, your parents?
Ooh, nine, I don't know.
60?
1960, 62, 61 and 62. Yeah. So they're
Getting
getting
up there,
there.
right?
They're good. Huh?
We're getting up there, our parents.
Yeah. It's so fast.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. I don't think I realized it until just the past year. I was like, oh my God, like I'm 31 now, so they're in their 60s. So it's like, wow, yeah, they are getting older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
another
think that.
phase. I think that's one of our problems as with our age is that our parents are getting older, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we found that actually marriage counseling that I think our 40s are the hardest years for our age group, I think, right? Because your kids are leaving the nest
Mm,
and your parents are getting older and they're becoming like more, they need you more.
yeah. Yeah.
It's hard because it switches the roles. So you
Yeah.
got to let go of your kids and then you got to take care of your parents. So it's a lot of grief and a lot of like just a lot of different, like your roles just change.
Yeah, I've heard that too because when I was taking lifespan psychology, it was a lot of that, during when you're in your 40s because you have people who are passing and like yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Grace got time.
We got time.
Grace got time. Not
Grace
me.
got time. Oh, Lewis is almost there. He's like 40 years. Chester too, right? He's
Chester
like,
too, yeah, both of them.
We're getting closer to that age.
yeah.
But I think that's why it's a good thing that our Japan trip too. We went with his parents, my in-laws, and the whole family. So it was really nice to just be able to be in a different country and on vacation with his parents. Yeah,
Aw.
because I
Love
don't
that.
know when we would ever get a chance to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take this time to really spend time with your loved ones, family, parents, everything. Because honestly, we've thought of like moving far away, but we can't because we want to spend time with our parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
the older you get, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, life.
So your parents run a church, right?
Yeah, like a Burmese church. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And they've been
So a
doing
lot of
for like a while, right?
Hmm?
The church.
They've been doing it
Oh,
for a while.
oh yeah, it was the church's I believe like 30th anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
so
Oh,
we
wow, 30
started
years.
off as like a small fellowship for years at a like family friend's house. And then from there, being there for a few years, they ended up renting a smaller room. And now it's like a little bit bigger room. So it's crazy,
Yeah, 30
to
years.
see that. Yeah.
So you and Anne grew up in that church. You grew up with all of those people,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
How was that?
extended
It was
family right there.
tough.
How was that?
I think it was really tough, because we always had eyes on us, and we're growing up here, right? And like the community is more traditional. So I do feel that it was kind of hard growing up because everybody was always watching us and like you always had to have a perfect image, and like not trying to get into trouble because we don't want our parents to look bad either. So it was very hard when we were growing up, but now I would say it's a lot better than what it was. Yeah, because people would always judge you,
Oh yeah.
and like
No matter what you do.
No matter what.
yeah, and like what we wear and stuff, even though it wasn't like showing or anything. They were very like, oh yeah, you have to cover everything. I was like, yeah, I mean, we have everything covered, but they just didn't like certain things. But it wasn't even our parents. It was like people who went there,
outside factors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's your church at? LA?
In Alhambra. No,
Alhambra.
Alhambra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 30 years. Interesting.
That's really
Yeah.
crazy, but nice. That's so awesome.
So yeah, I think he's planning to retire soon.
Oh, really?
Well, he's praying about it, right?
Oh,
see when
God
it's
will give him the answer of like.
yeah.
That's so
Is there anyone who would like take over that church or?
Yeah. There is I think there's is it called another junior pastor or senior pastor? I'm not really sure. But there is someone already who is capable. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it wasn't for you guys, for your siblings or you? It could be in ministry or.
So, there was like someone had prophesied that like, we would be in the ministry, but I think like the ministry like it's different. I don't think it necessarily would be in church. I think God uses people in different realms, right? And in the realm that I do see a lot of people too. And I think that's a ministry in itself. Because people talk to me, and sometimes people would ask me about like my advice or like perspective on certain things. And some people would tell me about what's going on. And then, I would tell them like, I'll pray for you, and they accept it. So I think that's a ministry in itself. So I don't know necessarily if I'll do other things just yet, but if it's God's will, then, there's nothing stopping it, right? It's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
That's so
for
true.
me, I've just been finding it hard, like when I get confrontational questions. Like what happened the other day, I had someone ask or tell me like, oh, God isn't real. And I was like, I don't even know how to respond. But then it's like, do you respond or do you try to like be like, I'll pray for you that God will speak to your heart or something?
I think if someone were to say that to me, that's their opinion, right? But then I would be praying for them. Sometimes I feel like saying stuff to them might even trigger it more to be very against it. So whatever they say, like, okay, like that's what you think, then cool. But for me, like, I know God is real. I've experienced it firsthand, so you can't tell me that he isn't. But if that's what you think, sure. But then I'll continue to pray for them,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we can do, right? I don't think we could force people to believe.
Right.
But if they see you as like a living testimony and, living the life, they will see God through you, right?
Right. Like we can't force it. Just be an example.
Yeah, exactly.
We feel that how God is using us, and then hopefully they'll see that.
People see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, because sometimes you can give advice to people and they look at you and they're like, you're not doing anything different, like you're living like anybody else, everybody else, they don't see a change in your life. So they're like, who is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because if someone were to really like be open to hearing, and that's how you kind of do get into that. I feel like that's how people end up like changing or hearing out.
Yeah.
Is that they actually have an open mind and hear your story, and then they see like, oh wow, like they actually went through a lot. They did experience God, and then they have to experience it on their own, But sometimes I feel like people are kind of closed-minded. They just have their own belief and they don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of the congregation at the church that my dad goes to, there are a lot of Chinese Burmese, and usually Chinese Burmese are like come from a Buddhist background.
Interesting.
But they came to learn about God, but also the people. They see through the people that, hey, like this is a very loving community. They're very forgiving, like not like the other people that I've met before. And the crazy part is I guess the junior pastor that is at our church, he was actually very strong, like Buddhist. And
Oh.
he like, had so many questions about like God and like, oh, he's not real and all these things, like he tried to how do you like kind of like a protest, not a protest, but argue a lot, right? Because he's very smart, he's very educated, very smart guy. And he had so many questions, and then after that, like after he was doing this for a few months, but like my dad was very patient with him, and every like people at the church were very patient with him to just like answer his questions and just explain to him. And then I guess after that, one day like he just accepted, and he's been very faithful throughout since then
Oh, wow.
until like now, and he's one of the like junior pastors. So it's really great to see.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
God works in many ways. Yeah.
do you guys take like a lot of heat, like being, in like running a church, like oh your dad's running a church, like do you guys get the heat from other kids or other people growing up?
I think people were just like very surprised, and like I don't think there was any hate or anything like that. They were just really surprised, like, oh, your dad's a pastor? Like, like what does he do? And like before I would be like hesitant to say that he's a pastor because you don't know how other people are going to take it, especially like kids are mean or they would, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting they would say, but I was always kind of nervous to say that he was a pastor.
And how was that though? Like was it like it wasn't really a big deal growing up too, or like meaning like people, that when people question you?
That if what my dad did,
Was
kind
that
of.
like to you guys or not really?
Kind of, because I didn't want them to, being a crazy teenager, right? You do a lot of crazy things. So I didn't want them to think like, oh, like this is a pastor's kid. Like, what is she doing?
Oh.
Yeah.
True. I never thought about it like
So
that.
it was a lot of things that I thought about, because I was like, oh, I don't want people to judge my parents because of me.
So who was the most crazy, would you say? You or Anne?
I would say
Your brother too,
like
different brother.
Oh, yeah, or your brother.
my brother.
You
Oh, no,
said
no, brother? Oh,
no,
never mind,
it's
never
Oh,
mind.
that's my cousin.
I was like,
Sorry.
wait, brother.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
he does look like me. He's like my twin. But I would say I was a handful when I was in like from 7th to like high school age. And then I kind of calmed down a bit during like I would say like my college. I think I was a lot worse in like high school. But then for my sister, it was like after, like a
Oh,
late bloomer. Late bloomer, yeah. But I think it taught all of us, like my parents and us, like as a whole family, about each other and how to be more understanding of each other. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah. In the beginning, it was like, immigrant parents, language barrier, not understanding like the different generations, right? That grew up over there versus here. And it's like
Yeah.
comparing like um their nieces and nephews from Burma to us, and of course we're more wild over here than over there. Like you're in a village, you can't do much.
You can go to the club over there.
That is so true.
You can't go to the club over there.
I mean, they do have it, but I think like it's like
Like
over
here,
there it's a little bit
not
different.
like raves and stuff.
Yeah. I think they do have that too, but it was like further out in the cities.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been back there, like, as an adult?
I went well, the last time I went, it was in 2011. So I was only how many years is that? I think I was only 18.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We wanted to go, but because of all the stuff that's happening right now, it's not safe to go just yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What kind of stuff is happening?
A lot of government
Oh.
taking over issues. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of craziness, right, happening in this world. So.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
On the 110 freeway today.
Oh yeah. What
Yeah.
happened out there?
I
What
think it
happened?
was a protest. Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
really?
really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, we don't live in LA anymore. We don't even hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a shooting here, like what?
Last week.
Last week at the college.
Oh yeah, I saw it on TFC.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Out of all the places.
They were watching it. Yeah, they were watching it, and I saw.
Yeah.
A lot of scary things.
Yeah. But I think that goes back to just having faith, like
Yeah.
there's going to be always crazy things going on, but we just got to have faith that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and that we're protected, and that's why it's important. I believe like faith too, praying every morning when you wake up, just thanking God that you're still alive and breathing, right?
Right.
And that you have like a roof over your head, you're healthy, and then like praying at night, and to just be thankful and grateful, right?
Yeah, we have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Love it.
Do you have any other questions?
We keep going, or we had an hour, so
yeah. Do you have any other last minute questions for her?
Yeah, I guess we'll end with this question. Like, what's the hardest challenge that you had to overcome? Could be business or life.
I think just having self-confidence in the beginning, like overall. Like imposter syndrome, right? Like, are you doing enough? And trying to get over that, in your head. And I think that was the hardest to overcome, and I think I was like seeking for validation from other people, because I didn't believe in myself. And I could say that it's like both business and personal, just because I didn't think I was like good enough, right? But in reality, like, you know, I had to kind of rewire my brain to not think that way, and change your mindset. And in every aspect of my life, you have to think like you are more than capable than what you think you are, and you're stronger, and stronger than what you think you are too. So I think changing your mindset is the most important thing in both personal and business.
Yeah. I have one last question.
Yeah.
What do you look forward to? Like, what, I know you have like a bunch of things that you want to, accomplish and everything, but what do you think in the next 5 years you think you want to work towards, like getting a bigger office? I don't know, anything. What do we look forward to and seeing in Grace's life?
I think like I would like to focus more in the next 5 years, I guess, more online shop probably, to actually have a brand in the next like few years, so that way I have a passive stream, and like probably ebooks, right, of like styling eyelashes or like brows or whatever it might be. I think that's what I would probably do in the next few years. And because I don't know what's going to be in the next 5 years, maybe baby.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So
right?
I would want to spend more time with family. So hopefully I can establish all that. So, like you guys do, you guys still work, but also you guys play, go on vacations with your kids and stuff when they are off of break. So, which is really great, to have, and you guys get to work from home and spend time with your kids. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, because I don't think I could do physical work until like in the next like maybe 20 years. I don't think I see myself doing that. Yeah.
That's a really great
Makes
idea,
sense.
though, love. I really like that. That's really good.
Yeah, online branding and selling
Yeah.
is where it's at, right? So
Yeah, you definitely have the creativity, for that. Like, I can
Mhm.
definitely see that for you doing that and being successful at it.
Thank you.
and we'll
Yeah.
promote you too. Help you.
Yeah, we'll promote you
Yeah.
too.
We'll do that stuff. So
Yeah. Just let
yeah.
us know. We're here for you.
Yeah, thank you. I will definitely let you know.
And where
Yeah.
can people find you, by the way,
Oh,
on
yeah.
Instagram?
Oh, so right now it's just on Instagram, HLA Beauty Studio. That's it. And
Nice.
then I do have a website. It's hlabeauty.studio. Yeah. So
Awesome.
Love
all
it.
my information is on there too.
We'll
All
include
right.
it in the description too, so
Mhm.
that people can find you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for
Thank you.
doing this. We appreciate you and taking the time out to do this with us. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was
So
great.
tell me about yourself. Just kidding.
Hold on, let me end the recording. Right there. Recording. Recording.